There it is.
Beautiful.
Chris Watt, not to be confused with Chris Watts.
Dude, I literally, one of the women that works with my PR chick, Song River, she set this up, right, Allison?
I don't know.
I think I got the email through her, but anyway, she's got a friend that was doing some like a write-up, and she said Chris Watts like twice, and I had to correct her. I'm like, no, you can't make that mistake anymore.
Man, so when I looked at your name, when I was just going through the one sheet that they sent me,
yeah,
it was like Chris Watt in my head, but I typed out, like, Google just went Chris Watts.
Yeah.
And then like I would see like it was mixed between you and then the other guy. Yeah. So I was just going one by one. I was like, this guy fucking murdered his family.
I know, dude. No, it's been so weird because like, and the crazy part about it is I'm in Colorado Springs, which is like an hour south of Denver. And that dude lived up in Denver, like an hour away. So craziness.
Nuts.
Yeah, it's been a trip, dude.
Well, how are you? Let's start there. How's Colorado?
It's good. It's fucking typical Colorado. We've got, it's snowing 6 inches 3 days ago, and today it was like 55 degrees, and same drill, man. Yeah,
it's fucking hot as shit out here.
Where are you at? California, okay.
Like Southern California.
Right on.
Out of Ventura.
Nice, dude.
It's like 86.
Yeah. This year's been so goofy. Honestly, the snow that we got, like whatever it was 4 or 5 days ago, that was the most it snowed all year, which I've been in Colorado for like 20 years. Never seen it like this before. So, I mean, I'll take it, but it's not good.
Oh, it's not good.
Yeah.
Especially they're already telling us in the winter, like, oh, don't water your grass. Only Wednesday and Saturday.
Yep.
What the hell?
I know, dude. I know. I saw a meme the other day, and it was talking about, California shortages, and they showed the zoom out, and you've got the California state, and of course you've got the ocean. And they're like, 2022, we really haven't figured out how to, like, whatever the process is, like desalting. Like, we've got the entire ocean. I mean, are you kidding me? We can't figure out how to bring some water in and just do the unsalting.
Too expensive.
I know, that's what they tell us, but it's like they're spending money on all this other shit. So
yeah,
whatever.
We can send billions of dollars over there to Ukraine.
Dude, this is it, man. This is it. We're just tax slaves, bro. I know my role.
That's my role, man.
That's it, dude.
Hopefully trying my best to achieve a dream, and if it works, it doesn't, but at least you try.
100%. I'm sorry, give me 1 sec, dude. This light in front of me is so bright. Let me kick this down real quick.
We're good.
Yeah, that's way better. Cool.
Well, I can tell you that I dig your art,
dude. Appreciate it, man.
It made me pause.
Cool.
When you first listened to your music, you were looking, like, for anybody, you're looking for the calmness, right? Mm-hmm. And how does your heart or soul react to the calmness in the music?
Yep.
And your music, although the calmness is at the beginning, the true calmness is when it kicks in.
Yeah. And that's like beautifully said, man. It's a really good assessment.
My quote, or my note that I wrote down is, the calm is in the chaos.
Yeah. Yep.
And like, because of that, that's why I want to get into your head.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know, like, from the pianos in the beginning, it's not every song that there's a slow build up, but a lot of them are. And that's what got me, intrigued by your music.
Yeah.
So as an artist, and when you guys are writing this, what is your thought process while making music? And is this all intentional, or is this, that's just how it is?
Well, so it's all very intentional. So the recording process is like, I mean, I'm in my studio right now where I do all this.
It's fucking beautiful. Let me
thank you, dude. Yeah, I put so much work on this thing, and I think it finally, like, I feel like there's always something left to do, but that's just part of art, right? But I appreciate it. It's shaping up finally. But the writing, at least the way I've got this set up now, the writing is part of the recording process, right? So like with Crimson Rose, and I actually wanted to take, and I'm going to do this still, I just haven't had time yet, because I got a podcast thing going in here now too. And I want to do kind of a behind the scenes to show sort of why that song took the shape that it did. And the main thing with that track is just that it's that opening piano piece, right? With the chorus that's sung an octave down in the beginning, and then it jumps the octave in the second half. And that has to be in there, right? Like the obviously the verse, it opens up into kind of a more explosive sort of metal triplet running type thing. But it has to come back to that, which is what it does both in the second and third choruses, where it drops out. And I always put too much in. So like with those choruses, there was like sense and strings and everything, and it wasn't working. So like at the end of the day, what I ended up doing is just stripping all of it out. And it's just piano and vocals. And then in the second half, there's that little harmony piece. And then it explodes into that big kind of, part two of the second and third choruses. But yeah, there's something about that lyric, right? That the message in this song, which is, it has to be sung that way, or I don't think it's going to it's not going to carry the message correctly to the listener, unless it's just that very downplayed, almost speak, sing kind of thing that opens it up. At least that's how it felt to me. So,
And it's almost spiritual, dude.
Mhm.
It's I spent a lot of my youth in the Catholic Church.
Yep.
I didn't get touched, but that was my first exposure to music,
Yeah.
being able, besides just me and radio, or
Yeah.
me and my CD player or something.
Yeah.
And when I hear that, it's almost spiritual,
Dude,
And-
that's really cool.
and even into the chaos that surrounds that is also very and I'm not comparing you in two different ways, but Phil Spector-ish.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he builds the sound wall. That's what he called
Yeah.
it, the sound wall.
Yeah.
And he builds it, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
And then
That's a really awesome comparison, by the way. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's the first thing I thought of when I
Yeah.
heard this, and it truly is beautiful. What is it about? Because and forgive me, buddy,
Yeah.
I try to listen to every lyric,
Yep.
but every time I listen to your goddamn song, I get distracted by something else I hear in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is that's really cool too, actually. So it's about, I can at least put you into the headspace that I was in when I was writing it. So that the piano and the chorus piece I've had for a long time, years, and I haven't figured out a way to integrate it into kind of a hard rock song. And then a few months ago, when I decided that was the next one I wanted to do, I started tracking, and so the chorus piece, right? The thorns you hide beneath your leaves, remind the world, don't get too close. And people can go and listen to it. I don't want to talk through the whole thing, but it's this idea. What I was visualizing I was visualizing a woman, right? In the beginning, at least, right? And that's it. So there's a female kind of energy, I think, to it. And it's a woman that she's experienced life, in a number of different ways. And so there's these thorns that it's this protective shielding that you have. But you can't, at least the way I was sort of picturing this thing, is you can't walk through life necessarily with that being shown all the time, right? You have to mask it in some way, shape, or form just to be functional, but it's still in there, right? Because you've got to guard yourself from all these things that might have come in. And so that's what that chorus piece is essentially about. And then the second half of the chorus moves away from that sort of guarded, I'm sort of hiding this internal weaponry that I use to protect myself, right? The second half then goes, it's always been a mystery how up through concrete you have grown, right? It's this amazing thing. How could you have grown through such a, overcome such an insurmountable obstacle, something like that. And then the last line, of course, your thorns have never bothered me, because all I see is a crimson rose. And it's this beautiful kind of acceptance of look, I see the scars, I see the damage, and I see the reasons why you would live life in this way, why you would feel guarded like this. But I think there's something so powerful about being seen. And that's kind of how I wanted to bring that chorus back around. Is yes, this is a person that's experienced a lot of difficulty and trying times and all this other stuff. but at the end of the day, there's somebody that sees through that sees beyond it, and that's able to move past it in a way that I think can be trusted. So I'm not sure if that's a good synopsis, but that's kind of what that chorus piece is about. And then the verses just are different kind of creative ways metaphorically to reinforce that.
And it's beautiful. I mean, not just the way you described it, because there's a lot of, it's not sexy,
No,
to love
No, it's not.
somebody or to accept somebody who's damaged or
Yep.
who's struggling.
Yep.
But those are the people that can give you the most.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
when you have these young, Billie Eilish or Dua Lipa, what have they really experienced to
Right.
to show or teach humans?
Yep.
Other than a
Yep.
good time, maybe,
Yep.
but
Yep. And I always,
it's beautiful.
I really appreciate it, dude. It's like, I always think of like the names you just mentioned, like that's music it takes all these different shapes, right? Like there's a time and a place for everything. And I think for whatever reason, I didn't necessarily choose this, to be honest. This is just the way that I hear music, and it's the things that make sense to write about, right? It feels like it's something worth writing about, might be a good way to put that. And so I guess if this is the space I'm going to fill, I'll take it.
I mean, then it gets me thinking like about myself,
Yeah.
or about men in general.
Mhm.
We bear the world, or the weight of the world, on our shoulders every day.
Yep. Yep.
And
So-
you go to work and you grind it out for your family. You
Yep.
come home and you hope it's good enough.
Yep. Yeah, you're nailing it, dude. So like I said, the chorus piece, at least that was the visual I had, or I was holding in my mind to kind of shape the lyrics around it. But the verses, those were almost taking it from the opposite perspective. I was sort of considering things I've experienced in life, right? Or buddies that I know, guys that I am friends with. And that's sort of almost more so where that piece came from. So it's the same sentiment, just maybe from like a different perspective. And that's where I think the two kind of come back together. And yeah, it's certainly not a, I wasn't trying to be like, oh, this song's about a woman. It's not that at all. It's just, it's just about more of those generalizations, right? Like you exactly said, this idea that, I mean, look, men and women are different. I don't care what people want to say. Like we have different responsibilities and there's different expectations, right? And so for men that feel that sense of responsibility, there's a very similar kind of a lack of being seen, right? I mean, most men are probably going to walk through life and feel completely underappreciated, especially the way our society is set up right now. So there's a lot of that in that track too, no doubt.
But also you can see it on the other side, with the woman's side.
Yep.
A woman goes through life. Is she,
Yep.
Giving her all to her family?
You got it, dude.
Is she appreciated?
You got it.
Sometimes she doesn't feel appreciated.
You got it.
And sometimes at the end of the day, she's the only one left.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
just like the rose coming out of the concrete.
That's it, dude. Yeah. There's something, and I don't know if I heard that years ago or something, but like, I love word painting if I can, right? Try to take these lyrics and try to just put images in people's minds with them. And that's a powerful image to me, right? This beautiful rose emanating from concrete, nothing else around it, right? It just of its own volition was able to pop up out of there. It's like, it's impressive.
Yes.
So
Did you surf?
did I surf? Mm-mm.
Okay. It's
No.
very, I was in the service for 12 years, and anytime I spot something, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe this guy's one of us.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misheard. I thought you said surf. Did I serve like in the military?
Yes.
And no, I didn't.
Okay.
No.
You thought I said surf?
Yeah, I thought you said
Like
surf. I was like,
California?
oh, that's random. Yeah, I guess we're going a different direction. Yeah. But
All right.
no, man.
All right. Tell me about the beginning of your journey. Like, when did you start doing music? Is this what is your goals? Like, where were you before this?
Yeah. So music always been part of my life. When I was in my early 20s, I was singing and writing similar stuff that's very much like the Fire Follows stuff now. I was singing in a band, and it was in Colorado here as well. Very long story short, I ended up paralyzing this vocal cord. And it wasn't like trauma related. It was something, I've got Tourette's. And so there were some neurologic things going on, and it kind of shut down this cord's movement. So I lost my voice for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, could barely speak, and ended up having to do all these surgeries. I now have basically a prosthetic right vocal cord. And so I had basically 7 or 8 years, not entirely silent, but close to it, you know? So talk about like a reflection period, right? I could only speak
How
sometimes
old are
3,
you at
4,
this time?
35.
No,
you
no,
know?
at that time when,
Oh, at that time, so I would have been 22-ish, something like that. 21, 22 when it started happening. And when it happened pretty quick. So like 22, let's just, I think it was about there. Lost it quickly. All the music stuff that I was doing at that time kind of fell apart, right? Like the scene and the community and all that. Partly my own doing. Like I was so frustrated by not understanding what was happening that I naturally wanted to kind of pull away from it, right? It's like, well, if I don't understand why I've lost this, I don't want to be around it. It's too painful or something like that. So kind of peeled back and just did some other stuff, ended up going to school, and really was just trying to get away from music, to be honest, but it's always been a part of me. It's like, yeah, dude, it's not a choice. It really isn't. At least not in any real sense. So ended up, I kept kind of fighting back, and I would do a procedure, or they do some kind of surgery, and it wouldn't work. So anyway, after they did the third one, which left that prosthetic in, I was able to reconnect with an old vocal coach, and we just went to work, man. You know, hours and hours and hours a day. I literally committed my life to it, like in every sense of the word. Nothing else mattered to me. It was just, and I had no voice. I had no ability to hit pitch. Everything was different, and it was so messed up. But slowly we started getting little pieces back, you know, small thing here, small thing there. And now it's a different voice than I used to have. Some things are better, some things are worse. And I'm always working on it to try to get it back. But while all that was going on, even though I wasn't connected to the industry, I was playing music a lot, right? I was playing a lot of piano, I was playing a lot of guitar, drums, and all this other stuff. And so I was able to develop those skills in ways that I had never had before. And so when I finally started being able to sing again and feeling like, okay, I'm going to get back in the studio and start doing all this shit, I had all these skills that I didn't have when I was 22 years old, you know? And so I think it took the writing to like a whole different level. And yeah, I'm still kind of figuring out what I'm doing here, but I think it's going all right.
fucking A, dude.
Yeah.
Do you get scared
That I'm going to lose
I'm
it
gonna
again?
fuck it up?
So, yep, I do all the time. But I will say this, like the biggest part of that whole season, and even now, it's just a mental battle. Like I'll have instances, like I've got a band now that comes in, we're doing rehearsals, and I've had a couple times where the next day I'm like, man, this doesn't feel very good right now, you know? And it's really easy for my mind to go to a place that says, you fucked it up again. You're going to go through this all over again, right? And so I've gotten much better. It's taken a lot of time, a lot of discipline, but I've gotten much better at just not giving credit to those thoughts and just thinking, look, I don't believe that. I don't believe that I'm susceptible to getting injured again. I think the procedures, I think they worked. I think I've rebuilt my voice in a way that it can withstand anything, honestly, at this point, because I put so much time into it. So that is a mental battle, but I'm trying.
Get it, dude.
Yeah.
The name Fire Follows.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from?
So it's a cool story. In addition to the music, I run a logging company. That's basically what I started when I kind of pulled back from the music. And so I've owned that for like 10 or 11 or 12 years, I guess, at this point. And we do a lot of like wildfire mitigation. We also do logging in like burned areas where we'll go in and pull material out, or we'll mulch it and regrade it. And there were 2 or 3 different instances where near a project we were working like within a quarter mile or even less sometimes, or a project we had just looked at. Literally, like while we were on site, or even the next day if we'd left, there would be a fire that started, you know, on an adjacent property or something like that. And these were all throughout the state. Like it wasn't like it was in one little area, you know, 5 miles away from me. We're talking like one was, but then there was another one that was like a couple hours away, and then there was an incident similar. And I just was like, this is nuts, you know, these wildfires. Like it seems like every time I go somewhere. And anyway, I was sitting grabbing dinner with my dad. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I was telling him this. I was like, it's nuts. I just got back from this mountain town, and the next day the whole damn thing burned down. And I literally said, wherever I go, and I was kind of formulating my thought, and he said, fire follows. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. Like I just kind of, and it was, I don't know, maybe a couple of days later, like it just stuck in there, you know? And then that was kind of when I was getting the music project going again. And yeah, I think not only in the literal sense with the wildfire and all that kind of stuff, but just what I've gone through and experienced the last, 12 years or so, 13 years, I thought it was a pretty appropriate name.
It's dope. It really is awesome.
Yeah, appreciate
All
it.
right,
bro.
so I have some different type of questions outside of music. Some of them are with music, but just to get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah,
And so we're gonna switch gears to that.
cool.
And fast questions, nothing too um hardcore or anything.
Sounds good.
What is
bro.
your favorite lyric?
Sorry, that was ringing right when you said that. What is my favorite what?
Lyric?
My favorite lyric? I mean, right now I'm probably gonna pick one from Crimson Rose. Let me think here.
I don't ask this question to everybody.
Okay.
The only reason I even brought it up is because I have like 6 or 7 questions I can pull
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
And you just seem so deep of a person, a deep thinker. And so this has to be a deep answer.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know that I have a certain line. Let me kind of cheap out on this answer and give you a more generic one. My favorite lyricist all time, and I could probably pull 100 different lyrics, is Chris Voles, lead singer of Flaw. And I don't know if you're familiar with especially the first album that those guys put out. He is a lyrical genius, and he speaks in such incredible metaphor and with such deep thought. I could probably, if I told you it's my favorite lyric, I'd kick myself 2 minutes later because I'd be like, oh no, shit, it was that other one. So I would honestly say pretty much anything that Chris Voles has written, I'm going to be into. I was in high school when I found Flaw. I think, yeah, I was in high school. And I remember it changed my life. I was like, I didn't even realize this was an option to write like this lyrically. So yeah, I don't know if that answers it, but
Yes, it
something like that.
does.
Okay.
All right, you have a dream concert. You pick 4 people, alive or dead, artists.
Okay.
And who do you pick?
That I can go see at the concert.
Yeah.
Dude, that's really good. Okay, let me give you 3. It's Breaking Benjamin, Shine Down, Flaw. And I'm just thinking of an incredible lineup as I'm doing this. And then one more. Honestly, this wouldn't fit, but I would say Michael Jackson.
Tough. You got to bring someone back, right?
Yeah. I wanted to have one in there. Yeah.
Did you see Shinedown's new movie?
No, I've seen the clips on Instagram, but I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, is it good?
Oh my God.
Dude, second I hang up with you, I'm gonna go watch it.
I don't even know what to say, dude.
Really?
I interviewed the dude.
Yeah.
And
you interviewed like Brent Smith or one of the other guys from the band?
Right.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, tell me if he's not the best vocalist in the space, I mean, he's top 5, right?
Oh yeah.
Brent Smith's
and he's such a great human being.
I know.
And the way he thinks and his creativity, right, I'm just gonna be honest. I never said this before out loud.
Yep.
I literally just counted them out.
You counted them out? Why?
It just seemed honestly, nothing came across my radar.
Interesting.
And so I just like, if no one's talking about it, it must not be that good.
Yeah.
So then it comes through. The publicist writes me and says, hey, check this out. And I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
And just sort of put my phone in my pocket.
Yep.
And I was just listening to it. And I was like, man, this is really fucking good.
I know.
So then I was like, all right, let me, so then I'm sitting there and I'm, watching the video. Then I'm at work. I'm the last person here just watching it.
Yeah.
And it's just so fucking creative. Like, The Wall, you've seen that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's sort of like that. It's his album on a video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing.
Okay.
Nothing else to be said about it. It's just amazing.
Dude, I'm literally, that's what I'm doing when we leave here.
And I told him, I said, listen, when you guys first came on, I was real about you and I just lost you guys.
Yep.
And I'm so glad. I have so many of those songs from that album on my playlist.
Yep.
It just makes me happy.
Dude, so what's crazy is I remember, was their first album called Leave a Whisper? Was that the first one?
Not sure.
Okay. I think it was. I'm so bad at remembering like album names because we don't do albums anymore. Everything's singles, right? So I dumped all that shit. So the first album I thought was great. The second one, I really liked it, but I don't think it was received very well. It had, Dare You or whatever that song was called. There's a couple others. Anyway, I was afraid at the time that the way that album was received, which again, it didn't seem that great, that was going to be kind of that downhill. Oh God, these guys are going to drift out. And then they just came back. They had a few more, I think, that were kind of radio friendly. And then now they've really just become this kind of monster. I mean, Shinedown's as big as you're going to get in the hard rock space.
Think about it too, with Shinedown, right?
Mhm.
With this new album that they have, or whatever it is, it's like when I think Shinedown, I think, oh, like that's like early 2000s metal.
Yep.
It is not.
Nope.
This new album there is some of that metal in it, but it's sort of some like classic rock, sort of alternative. They don't give a fuck no more. It is them. This is their art. They're gonna go get it.
Dude, it's so well said. And they are, and this isn't all Brent Smith. Like I think he's one of the greatest vocalists, but as a unit, the versatility, right? I mean, Eric Bass, I think he plays every fucking instrument like on stage. I've seen them live a couple times. I know he's playing bass, plays keys. I'm sure he plays everything. I'm sure he's a great drummer and shit too. I mean, those guys will write a piano ballad. They don't care. I mean, one of my favorite songs from them is the acoustic version of 45, of course, and then the Leonard Skinner cover that they did, Simple Man. And those are acoustic pieces. I mean, they're simple as you can be. There's nothing there. It's just a guitar and Brent Smith, and it's like, yeah, this is gonna stick around for a while.
And me and him jive so well.
Yeah.
Because I was so awesome interested in what he was, his art.
That's awesome.
I was really trying to strip it all down, and when I'm interviewing him, that he invited me and my family to, when he's out here in Los Angeles, come hang out.
Dude.
I was like, what the fuck?
I love that. Makes me love him. I love Brent Smith. Like I've watched so many interviews with him, especially where they were in the early days, and I know he had some of his demons and shit he was battling, but like he's one of my favorite follows on Instagram. I mean, the dude's a well of positivity, and it's not in a bullshit way. This is his life.
That is the thing. I think it is, like, I've noticed there are a group of people, musicians that I run across who go through hell. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're out on the other side, and their spirit vibrates at such a high frequency. Yeah. Just talking to them heals you. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Peter DeStefano is another dude. Porno for Pyros, and I mean, he fucked all that up because that would turn into Jane's Addiction. And now everybody, there's not a person on the plane doesn't know Jane's Addiction. For sure. And he embraced that. Yep. And the one thing when I interviewed him, I was like, he told me, just be honest, no matter what, because something about honesty and dishonesty kills a piece of your soul. Absolutely. Yep. And and it's like, it's human nature, right? I mean, people, I want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. People are forgiving. People love a comeback story, right? It's like there's that process. Yeah, I mean, you experience something, you go through this humbling phase, then you come out the other side, and exactly like you said, people can detect if it's authentic or not. It's not complicated, And guys like that have been through some shit, their life purpose is different than it was before, which is way cool. Fucking A. Yeah. He's one of my favorite people on earth. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. All right. What is life teaching you right now? Patience. Lots of patience. With everything, with music, with a lot of patience with music. It's funny, I thought I was being patient when I was getting my voice back, which I was, but this is a different kind of patience, the place where you're releasing music and you're trying to find, what are we doing with this? Where are we going? And there's no clear direction, yeah. And then I've got some other stuff going on with my logging company and shit, but yeah, I thought I'd learned that lesson, clearly not well enough, because we're doing it again right now. So it's all good. And my last question, and before I even get to it, I just want to say thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege to speak. Bro, you too, man. This is awesome. Yeah. And I'm super stoked, and thank you. Yeah. Thank you, man. Well, the last question is, what are you streaming right now? Music wise? No. Well, yeah. Music and Netflix or streaming
Yeah.
service?
So, okay, the one I just got done with on, because I don't watch many shows. I mostly just watch YouTube and, all my, whatever, all the shit that's too complicated for me to understand that I sit here and pretend like I know what the hell they're talking about, right? That's me. But, but I got done with Yellowstone, like last week. Have you ever seen that show?
No, everyone keeps on
It's-
telling me about it.
So I'm not a show guy. I've watched Lost. I've watched,
Lost is awesome.
I loved Lost. I watched, what's the meth one?
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Okay, those two, and then I've watched pieces, I guess, of a couple others, but then Yellowstone's the other one that just hooked me in, and I was like, okay, this thing's gonna consume my life for a few days. I already give in, right? So that's the one I got done with. What song I've been streaming a ton lately, dude, and I feel like almost embarrassed that and I know I've heard this song before, it just didn't connect with me. Is the song "Blood" by In This Moment?
I don't know that song.
Oh, you haven't heard that one?
Mm-mm.
Dude, it is, and I don't know a ton about them, and it's like 8 years old or something, right? I'm like, I can't believe it is the most ballistic chorus, and that's the word I keep using for it. Like, I've never heard anything like it, and so I've probably listened to that sound like a little kid when I find a new song, right? I'm gonna listen to it 600 times until I get sick of it, and that's what I'm doing with that one right now. Like, I'll go to the gym here in about an hour, and I'll just have that song on repeat for the whole time. So,
I'm like super excited about this TV show called Peacemaker.
okay.
It has John Cena in it. He's like a superhero or like
Yeah,
villain.
it's a spin-off of the movie that they,
Mhm.
right? Okay, yeah,
It
yeah.
is so fucking good, dude.
Really?
And then and the
All
only reason
right,
I even bring it up is because
Yeah,
the theme song to it
yeah.
is the song I keep on repeat at the gym.
What is it?
Can you taste it?
By,
I think the Wigs.
okay.
Hold on, let me look it.
I don't even know if I've heard it.
Let me see real fast. Oh, do you want to taste it? Wigwam.
Okay. I'll check. I'll break my repeat session with this In the Moment song to check that out. Hang on. Here we go. My brother sent me that. I didn't know what it was, but he sent me that a few days ago.
It's I don't know why I keep on listening to it. And
Yeah.
maybe they just got me. And like I used to be a wrestling fan when I was, growing up or whatever.
Like WWE shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never really liked John Cena. I was too old for that shit.
Yeah.
But to see him, like he does this monologue about how Batman's a pussy because he just
Okay.
arrests people.
Yeah.
And then he was, well, how many people do you think Batman indirectly killed by
Uh-huh.
just throwing people in jail?
Right.
It's just fucking funny, man.
Dude, John Cena's funny, man. I was like I said, my brother sang that song. We were actually, maybe it's because he was watching that, but we were talking about Cena the other day, and he says, "Dude, this is the funniest motherfucker." He's like really stepped into that acting thing well.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy him now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, my man Chris, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, bro.
Good luck with the single, Crimson Rose.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you soon.
Sounds good, bro. Look forward to it.
All right. Have a
See you,
good one.
dude. Yep.